Hello, welcome to this playthrough of Elden Ring, where I will be in the co-pilot seat and Branwell will be driving. This is a lore playthrough, and in every video there will be spoilers because this is intended as a vehicle for Branwyn to explain her theories on the lore of the setting. So if you'd rather develop your own theories without being influenced by other people's, or don't want to be surprised on some of the deep lore of the game, this is not a straight playthrough of just playing gameplay focused. This is a lore focused playthrough. So you might want to give this a pass if you want to avoid big spoilers. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video. And we're good.
Welcome back to everyone to Elden Ring, where we're about to delve into Nokron. But first, I'm going to grab a couple of levels. Let's see. That squeezes more out of the Reduvia, but we're going to have to start leveling Vigor soon, but maybe not just yet. Let's get damage first.
What is the soft cap in this one? Because
okay, there's the very first soft cap is generally around 40.
Got it.
The next one, which is at 60.
Okay. Is there a point at which the diminishing returns gets lesser, and that's why there's a first soft cap and the second?
Yes. 80 is like where you're probably going to stop wanting to invest in something. Because it will just be better to get more of something else than continue on.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten past, I think, 60 in a stat on Neo 2.
Yeah. No, that's very much a feature of games since FromSoft. So the stat scaling is extremely arcane. The equation that they use is quite complicated. I would possibly say needlessly complicated, but they are, there's a bit of obscuring of how things work.
So par for the course.
Yeah, par for the course. Most people just default to, okay, you get a weapon that has the best scaling for the stat that you want to be leveling because you want access to the things that it gives you. And, you get that to 80 and then, make sure you've got enough health to survive and everything else is gravy,
Got it.
Sorry.
Is there anything like remodeling where you can adjust the scaling balances of stats? Because weapons in Neo 2 each have 3 stats they scale with. One's a major and there's 2 minors. But you can, late in the game, like near the end, you can get the ability to remodel things. This is near the game of the first one. And like change the balance. So like if you take the major one, you can go it from B to A. Or you can take one of the minor ones and make it an A instead of the other one, so you can start having a weapon that's keyed on a different stat.
Yes, this is what Ashes of War. This is the other thing Ashes of War are for.
Got it. Okay.
So Ashes of War changed the scaling as well as give you the special move.
Got it.
So we come across Quicksilver Tears down here. interesting tidbit about these people, these creatures,
Right.
is, well, there's two interesting tidbits. In the game files, their name is Brood of Marika.
Okay.
The other interesting tidbit is you see they have that the strange, like, watery text, ripply texture on them.
Right. Yeah.
If I get close, so that's just a, we don't have to worry about that thing. But if I get close here, you see there's the circular texture.
Yeah.
That's not just like them. It's not just, well, it is an indication that they're made out of like mercury or something similar to mercury. But they are, that texture in particular, the ripple effect is in a lot of symbolism on the on carrion things.
Okay. Okay. So that covers both why they're called Quicksilver Tears and, well, the carrion. I don't know what it covers. That's a different thing. That would be yours thing. But the Quicksilver Tears is obvious.
Yeah. No, it's linking them to, like, they're a creation of silver rather than gold, which we'll get into why that matters. But also, so when Renala does her full moon attack,
Right.
which I'm not sure, I don't think we saw in her boss fight. I think I killed her too quick.
Yeah, I think that corresponds to my memory of the fight.
Yeah. It does a ripple effect on the water as she rises into the air and the moon is conjured.
Okay.
So that's also that. But also very important, it is a very similar texture to the final level of Kingsfield 4.
Wow, I didn't realize there were so many Kingsfields. I've heard of Kingsfield before, but I didn't realize that there were multiple until now.
The first one was not released outside of Japan.
That tracks.
So a lot of people know Kingsfield 2 as Kingsfield 1.
So the Final Fantasy situation. What are these zombie-looking things?
These are members of the band of the Inverted Hawk. They were hired to delve underground to investigate the Eternal Cities.
Oh, that went well for them.
Yeah, no, it didn't. And funnily enough, they're called the Band of the Inverted Hawk because it's a reference to Berserk and the Band of the Hawk that Guts and...
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to ignore most of them and just... I'll probably come through here, actually. I'll come through here and grab the stuff later. They have, like... Their Great Shield dudes are actually legit. Like... you deal no damage if those guys block your strike from the front. Yeah, so Stake of Marika. Oh, yes. Stake of Marika with both arms.
Right, because most of the time they've been cut off when we've seen them.
Yeah, guess what? One of the things I worked out is like the... So in the DLC, the statues of Marika are all beheaded. As we have discussed outside of...
Yeah. Instead of having their arms cut off, or in addition to, I can't remember.
Instead of.
Got it.
the base game, the statues of Marika that things generally have access to have their arms chopped off.
So that answers the question as to whether it is a design choice. Clearly, it isn't.
Yeah, it's like this one hasn't been defaced, and the ones that haven't been defaced, people don't have easy access to or know that they're here.
Got it.
Also, if you look back at the very start of the game,
Right.
the female statues in the tomb that you wake up in have their hands cut off. Oh, and this is one of the Nox. I don't think we've met one before.
Nox.
Yeah, this is the Nox are one of the dark folk that dwell underground. They're drow, basically.
Got it. Okay.
This is a Nox swordstress. She is a bodyguard for one of the Night Maidens who are the priest class. You can see see black face,
Yep.
dark face compared to like we are light face. We are nowhere near as dark as that face.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're a member of the dark folk. So another Kingsfield sort of reference. In Kingsfield, there's the forest folk, are a common trope, basically elves.
Okay.
In this game, once we get to Altus Plateau, we will be seeing the forest folk ruins.
Oh. Okay. That's a continuation of that game then.
Yeah. There is a lot of references. So mini boss here is the Mimic tier who will turn into us. So this is the mirror match.
Oh. This is neat. certainly gives a good impression of what people facing you have to deal with.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, you can cheese that fight by like taking everything out of your equipment, then re-equipping everything during the fight, because
Yeah.
it just clones you from the moment that it transforms.
I definitely appreciate this because one of the not the hardest, but one of the hardest fights in Neo 2 is if you mess up with a Mujina,
Yeah,
which is what they have instead of mimics.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the for
No,
those, yeah, go ahead.
I just fight it as without the unequipping everything because I'm not a coward.
Yeah, no. One of my favorite things was I actually had a good brawl with a Mujina that I messed up because you don't realize this right away, but if the Mujina does a gesture when it shows up, that pops out of the chest.
Mm-hmm.
If you copy the gesture, you get all the rewards without having to fight it.
Yeah.
But if you attack it, get the wrong gesture, or try to run away, it will fight you with whichever other weapon you're not using.
Mm.
You're equipped with.
Nice.
And I had a
Very
nice,
nice.
yeah, I had a nice long fight with one that was just for whatever reason I was in the zone and it was just a proper duel.
Very nice. So this here is a whole like shaman area. We are ignoring it for now because Nokron is here.
Got it.
How are we doing for time?
15 minutes, so about 8 minutes left. Maybe
Awesome.
up to 15. Yeah, 8 to
we
15.
might. We're probably going to get to the end of this section then, and we can have a very nice discussion about certain lore elements.
Cool.
So yeah, these are more of the Quicksilver tears that actually turn into people, but they're not mimicking us. This body type, the skin coloration,
Yeah.
is actually one of the default options that you can get in character creation.
Interesting.
So these are like not just Quicksilver tears, they're, actual sentient beings.
Got it. Okay.
And yes, everyone, I do know I'm walking past all of the side things. I'm getting through for time. They're honestly, the side stuff isn't that big a deal. It's like silver tear husks, which are a crafting material, and the occasional rune here and there. So behind here. Black Wet Blade is very important for arcane builds, which is one of the reasons we want to do this quest if you are running arcane, because it lets you change the stat scaling of Ashes of War to Occult or Bleed, which is arcane scaling stuff.
Neat.
Okay, Nox bracelets now. This is also another very important chest, because this gives us the Mimic Tear Ashes.
Was that blood splatter there before you moved, or is that from you before you attacked?
That's from me attacking.
Okay, because it looks like old blood splatter, so I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, no, it's a little hard to tell, particularly on the Darkstone. I would also like to point out these silver tears bleed white-ish silver.
So like what is the clone people?
Synths.
The
Whatever.
ones that algenoric or whatever the
Albinorix.
Albinorix, yeah.
Yes. Yes, exactly like Albinorix, in fact. Funnily enough. So, this thing is a real... As you can see, it deals a lot of damage if it runs you over, and it very easily runs you over while you're not, like... Great. Brilliant.
That thing's alive?
That thing is alive. It is a big silver tier. Speculation on why the Nox are creating those is that they're trying to create an artificial moon.
Okay, interesting.
So a lot of the Nox stuff, they're like, they're trying to create an artificial lord, so that they don't have to. They have a lord that can be controlled completely.
Got it. Okay.
So to deal with this build, I am just going to hop down here. And of course it's standing right on top of my souls. Or runes, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so luckily it's too big to pass through doors, but we're going to have to deal with the Night Maidens. Because that's probably procced then. One of them, yeah. Both of them. Awesome. Okay, Night Maiden's Mist is one of their spells. So that mist drains your life. It's really nasty.
I was about to say, I'm betting that something terrible happens there.
Yeah. And... So, yeah, so it drops a larval tier. So it's the same. Larval tiers are basically like physical manifestations of a soul or the core of a spirit.
Interesting.
So, lore items say that Marika has ties to the Nox, meaning Marika has ties to the Night Maidens. She also has ties to the Newman through the Black Knife.
Cult, whatever, assassins?
Yeah, Black Knife assassins. So a lot of people think that the Newman and the Nox are the same. The thing is, as part of starting races you can play as, the Nox type is one of the starting races you can play as, and they are called Draconians. Not the Newman are a different race/species.
Is this in Kingsfield, I'm guessing?
In Kingsfield 4, you meet the Dark Folk, who are very much like the both the Drow in D&D and the Draconian/Nox in this game.
Got it. What I was asking is because in this game, it didn't remember seeing like a ancestry option when we were making characters.
No, but I didn't go through all the ancestry options because I was like going through it too quick and didn't think about it. At the time when we started this game, I didn't realize how important that was because I didn't have the knowledge of Kingsfield that I do now.
Interesting.
To me, forest folk meant very little because I knew about Demon Souls and Dark Souls lore and not stuff from before.
Also, I know we saw this off camera, but it still surprised me when it formed into the massive giant.
Yeah. All right, now the big kahuna, the massive item that, like, unless you know the lore of like all of the other games that I've mentioned and the fact that they're all linked to Elden Ring and Dark Souls via item descriptions, the Fingerslayer Blade. Let's take a look. Hidden treasure of the eternal city of Nokron, a blade said to have been born of a corpse. This blood-drenched fetish is proof of the high treason committed by the eternal city and symbolizes its downfall. Cannot be wielded by those without a fate, but is said to be able to harm the greater will and its vassals.
Cannot be wielded by someone without a fate. Interesting.
Yes. So this is not a weapon for us.
Got it.
We have a fate. We can't wield it.
Got it.
Rani doesn't. Because she died.
Right. Got it.
Okay, so you will notice that the blade is a hilt that looks like a human torso and spine. And then the neck elongates and eventually splits in two, which then entwine.
Yeah. That's creepy, but yeah, I see it.
It's extremely creepy. We can get a similar blade, which is a faith-based greatsword, by defeating the final boss of the base game. The Remembrance of Radagon turns into a golden greatsword with this same aesthetic, but it's not curved. It's a straight sword.
Okay, cool.
Why is this so important? Well, the first three Kingsfield games are about the god Vlad, who, the god of creation's name is Silval. Silval creates three gods, the god of the land, Vlad, the god of the sky, and the god of the ocean.
Got it. Okay.
The god of the sky and the god of the ocean eventually return to Silval. The god of Vlad, the god of the land, decides to stay to rule mortals.
There's some Morgoth parallels there.
Yep. Vlad creates the elves and dwarves of this time. And then things don't go so well because men keep starting wars. In order to fix this, and it's not stated why Vlad thought this would fix this, he / she, they split themselves. Okay, either they create two aspects of themselves, or they split themselves in two, creating the black dragon of the forest, Gyra.
Okay.
Who is the antagonist of the first game.
Got it.
and the white dragon of darkness, Seath.
The
You
scale,
know that name.
the scaleless, yeah.
Back then, he was not the Scaleless.
Got it. Okay.
So, in the first game, so then, like, I can think of reasons why you would create two aspects as a god / split yourself in two, right? Like either you're trying to understand because, you are not split in two, therefore, how can you rule a people who are split, who are divided between, light and darkness, male and female, hot, cold, all of that stuff.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Um, or how the other reason is that if you create two nations rather than a single nation, you can direct the aggression of mankind much easier, right?
Okay. Yeah. Definitely can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. In Kingsfield, it goes horribly wrong because the two aspects of Vlad start fighting each other.
Yeah.
Because
This sounds right.
Gyra has Gyra is the black dragon of life and creation. So they're the yang. They're black because there's the black dot and the yang symbol, but they are of the forest, therefore they're of life, creation, all of that sort of stuff.
Understood. Got it.
Seath is the white dragon of darkness, aka Yin, the abyss, all of that sort of thing. And they have very different ways of seeing the world and how to fix mankind so that there aren't wars anymore and that we can live in harmony with nature as intended.
This sounds a little bit like the brothers from Ruby, which of course is
Yes.
not an influence, but will likely. But I'm wondering if it was influenced by
Influenced by this. Yeah, very likely. So Seath is like, okay, I'm going to force you all to live in harmony. Like you are going to get along, and I'm going to do that by binding all of your souls together into so that you can't hurt anybody else without hurting yourself, sort of thing. But with that, you're going to have to take some things like melding together into a big fleshy mass of goo, or maybe orange tang if you go the Evangelion route.
Right. I'd also note that this is Sauron's fall from grace as well, is he decided that free will was a mistake, and as long as there's free will, people will make mistakes and will cause suffering. And therefore, to remove suffering, I should remove free will.
Yeah. And Gyra, aka Calamite from the Dark Souls games,
Right, got it.
has a sort of opposing but similarly messed up worldview that's a bit harder for me to articulate. Like, it's a lot more like we're going to force you, like, oh, okay, you want to fight each other all the time? Sure. Every time you get to a certain point, we're going to hit the reset button. We're going to do an apocalypse and just take you back to Tors.
Interesting.
Good luck when you get to that point, because like in the From Software game Evergrace, You notice that word grace?
Yes, I did.
You notice the ever, very, very eternal sort of vibes,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Or Elden? Um,
Uh,
yeah, so in Evergrace, Evergrace is about the light side. The light side basically takes the thing, like, it lets creation go along, takes the things that it doesn't like about the world, or it thinks will destroy nature, the world, creation, and everything, shoves them into a pocket dimension inside a person that it picks, and then erases that person and everything inside it. And when I say erased, I mean their soul dies
Joy.
along with everything inside it. So don't start thinking Calamite slash Gyra is any better.
Right. They're both. I mean, we're back to the brothers again, but
Yeah.
uh, we are at 35 minutes now, so we're
Oh crap.
you're on a good roll, though. I'm sorry.
No, I'm very sorry. Anyway, all right. Let's finish up this video. We're here. We're about to give the Fingerslayer dagger to Rani.
hmm We can do
We'll
a
end the
extra.
video.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll do that next video. Yep. See you guys later.
Yep. Later.